Banamane. Today, one of your activities to do is a character sheet, and it looks similar to this. And the instructions are to watch this video and then to pick a character. And I encourage you to pick a character from Hector because that's the book that we've been reading. If you would rather pick a character from a different story, that's okay too. But I want it to be a character that you're familiar with. So please pick something that you're familiar or somebody that you're familiar with. And remember that the characters, they're sometimes human and sometimes they're animals, but uh, they're the guys that act out the story. So you can think of them like the actors and the actresses in the story. And I'm going to pick something from Hector. And also on today, I linked one of the Hector sections to the email so that you can read it right before this or during your writing or right before your writing. It's up to you. I'm going to show you how to fill this form out using a character from Hector. Now in the section of the story from today, if you've already read it, you will, or already heard it, you'll know this, and if not, that's okay. I won't give too much away. But one of the characters comes back that had been separated from Hector. So you could do that character. You could do one of the characters that Hector meets along the way. You could do Hector himself. Um, I'm gonna just do Hector. I think a fun one might be, the baby turtle, Henrietta. That might be a really fun one too. Um, so story, at the top it says story and then your character. So Hector afloat. And the character I'm going to do is Hector. So I just added that to the top. Hector afloat and Hector. Now, the middle area is for a picture of your character. And it can be a picture from the story, like something the character is doing in the story, but it doesn't have to be. Like if you think about if this character went to go get their portrait either painted or a photograph done, what would they look like in their portrait so that they could then hang it on their wall or give it to somebody as a gift. So this is for a portrait of your character here. And then around the outside, you're going to add some words. And this first one up here says physical traits. Um, so physical traits, that's what does your character look like? What would we see if all of a sudden your character was real and was right in front of you? How would you know it was your character? Well, I'm choosing Hector. So Hector has 6 legs. He's red. He has wings. He's kind of round. So that's all I'm going to add. You can add as many details as you want to help people recognize your character from the description. So physical trait, 6 legs, red, wings, round. Over here, these are traits too, but this is like the attitude or the emotion of your character. How do they act? Um, what do they have certain feelings that they have a lot? Are they kind? Are they mean? Are they shy? Do they talk a lot? And Hector, I'm remembering that he saved the baby turtle. Do you remember that he saved the baby turtle? So I'm going to put down kind. Um, I'm also going to put down worries because I've noticed that Hector says a lot of things that are kind of like, oh, will I ever find my home again? Will this be the way it is forever? So I'm going to put down worries. Um, I'm also going to put down has friends. under this one because you might think it's the same thing as kind, but a character can be very kind, but then in the story, maybe they don't have a lot of friends. And Hector is both kind and has friends. You know what else? Hector really likes being at home. He likes being comfortable and he likes to dig. So I'm going to put likes home, likes to dig. Okay, so his attitude or emotional traits: kind, worries, has friends, likes home, likes to dig. Down here it says, how have they changed? Now, one of the things that you'll notice in stories, if you start paying attention, is that oftentimes the characters change in some way through the story. You know, maybe they learn a lesson of some kind that has them change their attitude, or they get better at something, you know, or something. And with Hector, um, in the beginning, I remember how he tried to be a spider for a little bit. Henrietta, or sorry, Frederica made a spider silk for him, and then he jumped and dangled with it, and he crashed into something. So he was brave at the start. And then in this chapter, the one, if you read the part that I linked today, he talks about being really scared and thinking that that means that he can't be brave. So he was brave at the start, and then he thinks he's not brave. So brave at the start, then he thinks he's not brave, and then Frederica tells him that you can be both brave and scared at the same time. Um, and so you might want to add that he becomes brave again, or that he becomes more wise. I think that that's what I'm going to put. And then uh, becomes more wise. And please do not think that you have to copy me or even agree with what I've put here. You might have a different opinion about Hector, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. Um, and remembering too that we've only read part of the book. So if you had heard the entire book by now, you might have a different thing here about how he's changed. So be paying attention as you listen to the story for the next couple of weeks to see if you can figure out if any of the characters have changed. Henrietta the spider, I keep calling her Henrietta. Frederica the spider changes too. But one of the things I like about Frederica is that she's very dramatic, so dramatic. Um, and that doesn't change, but the way in which she's dramatic changes a little bit. And then this last part here says questions for the character. What questions could you ask the character? And so this one is an imaginative one too. So if Hector were a real Wumblebug and all of a sudden I could talk to him, what would I want to know? I think I would want to know quite a few things. One, where are the other Wumblebugs? How many holes, how many homes have you dug? Um, how high can you fly with those wings? Because remember, his wings are very small. um, what else would I ask Hector? Hmm. Maybe something about. Remember, I just talked about him being thinking he was brave and then thinking he wasn't brave. And then Frederica letting him know he could be both brave and scared at the same time. Um, so maybe I would ask him, what brave things he's done. Like, what things has he done where he has been both scared and brave at the same time? So, what brave things have you done? Or maybe I could ask him, what was the, what have you done where you have been the most scared that you've ever been? What has, what has made you the most scared and you're brave anyway? So that, there's all sorts of questions for Hector. Does he know where his family is? Where's where are the other Womblebugs? That's a question I often have for Hector. Where are the other Womblebugs? And then the middle, like I said, is just for his portrait. And you can embellish around the edges, and this is a lovely page to go into your portfolio. You might want to add your name somewhere on here too. If you take it off of the papers that it's stapled to, you'll notice there isn't a place for your name on the front, so you can just add it. You could write it on the back. That's fine too. Because to go in your portfolio, it doesn't need a name on the front because your name will be on your portfolio. But so that I make sure that I put it into the right one, it's helpful for me if you put your name somewhere on here. The back is a good spot for that. All right. I am excited to see what character you choose, whether it's something from Hector or from another story. Whichever character you choose, please put a lot of thought and effort into your work. And as always, please try to do your neatest, most tidy handwriting. Ready to go.